we put art on products, and lasers are one of the ways that we do that. For 40 years now, we have been a distributor of screen printed product. We used to do sand carving products. We were doing acid etching, screen printing, digital ink jetting, and since the purchase of a couple of Lotus machines, we're also now engraving on a whole bunch of different substrates: plastics, glass, metal, you name it. Denim. We're doing stuff on people's jeans a little while ago because that was what they said, hey, can you do this? And I go, we can try. And sure enough, it works.
Whenever I ask people what made you choose Lotus, one of the big things is it's made in the UK. But they mean it because they are also in the UK. Of course, you're not. So what I'm really curious about is what made you choose Lotus in the first place? And why is it that now, as it grows, that your instinct is to come back to us again?
I didn't see any other machinery like what you guys had that was available to me here in the United States. And I had been looking for more than 15 years. We first were experimenting with CO2 marking on glassware a very long time ago, early 2000s. And it looks terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
It looks absolutely horrible. We bought a couple of really early generation CO2 gantry machines for engraving glassware, and we actually got reasonably good success with it. But I saw a YouTube video that you guys posted almost 7 years ago, I think, of a UV machine prototype, and the glass was held up to light and kind of shone through it, and I go, that looks just like a sand carving. And I haven't seen anything like this anywhere else in the world. It's also been adequately demonstrated to me that it works. It's being demonstrated to me that it works every single day of the week. I can see it with my own eyes. They work, they're reliable. We had a few issues 6 months ago, something like that, with this machine, but it was covered under warranty, and the only thing we lost was downtime. That was it. So that was, you sold me a thing that did exactly what it said on the tin. You fixed the thing when it broke. It was under warranty. You guys have done everything you said it would, and we're ready to go again. So
your setup is a Meta C with a cobalt arm.
That's one of them. I also have one of the earlier versions of the MOPA. I've got a fiber laser here as well. We manufacture most of our own fixtures, parts, pieces, and everything else for our existing machines, and using that laser to trace marks on everything, put serial numbers on everything so that we can find CAD files and drawings and data later. It's been a complete game changer.
Roughly speaking, how many products are you producing?
We'll see daily production averages of anywhere from 250 to 350 articles. But with the use of the cobot, we set it up when we get here in the morning, and we just ignore it and check on it every 15 or 20 minutes, put more product on, take product off, and it quietly and dutifully keeps continuing its process. And there are plenty of times with longer jobs where we'll go home, turn the lights off, and the thing will just sit there continuing to engrave into the night. And in fact, I have a conversation I need to have with Joseph and the guys in sales, because one is not cutting it anymore. It's time to add more capacity.
Do you know what sort of thing you're going to be after when it comes to it?
You have 5-watt 3D, 10-watt 3D, 15-watt 3D heads, scan heads, and in the XL with a larger build platen volume and everything else. So I'm not really sure what shape this is going to take yet. Instead of using screen printing machinery or inkjet machinery like what we're currently doing, replace all of that mechanism with a 3D scan head. You've taken your output from 10 per hour or something like that for a small job to as many as 120 per hour. 120 an hour running 10 hours a day, that's 1,200 article. But all of a sudden, the calculus on is this worthwhile changes dramatically if you can get the speed up.
In the room that is through there next to me, we have a Meta XYXL UV that is being prepped.
So a 3D head, giant build.
3D head. It's a 1,000 by 600 millimeter work area.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely gigantic thing. Full gantry motion.
There's a bunch of different ways that I could see this going, but all of them end up with a larger amount of collaboration and work between Lotus and ourselves. Another reason why we wanted to look at engraving is that it's a truly green product. The marked product is about as green as it gets, because at the end of the day, the only thing that was consumed for its creation was energy. There were no chemicals, there were no waste byproducts, there was no large expenditure of energy in order to create this thing. It's only whatever came out of the 110 volt plug, which runs the laser. An engraved product, whether it's plastic or glass, this just consumed a tiny amount of energy. And until I shatter this thing, it's completely permanent. So it's it's a green product, but it's also a permanent product. So it's a green product that's actually better than what came before it. Something which is eco just usually means it's worse in my experience. But most of the products that come off of the Lotus, that is not true. It's an eco product, but it's also a superior one, in my humble opinion.
Brendan, thank you so much for joining us, for talking about what Arton Products does, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the future between yourselves and us.
I totally agree. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.